I'm putting up this video as a response to Torah Revival's video concerning women speaking in the churches. Torah Revival seems to not believe in the writings of the Apostle Paul or Shaul, and he claims that Shaul is teaching against the scriptures when he made his statements in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14. And through the Spirit of the Most High, I'm going to edify other Israelites who run into these arguments. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34, it reads, "Let your women keep silent in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law." All right, so right here, Paul is saying the law even teaches this. Now, he also goes on to say in the book of 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11, it reads, "Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence." Now, the word here, man, if you look this up, see word number 435. Let's look in the Thayer's lexicon. It says, with reference to sex of a male, of a husband, of a betrothed or future husband. Okay, that word is translated man. Notice it means a husband also. So we'll go back to 1 Corinthians 14, verse 34. Let's look at verse 35. "And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home." Now that word husband, it's also 435. So it's the same word that was translated man back in 1 Timothy. So he's saying, I suffered not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Now, isn't this according to the law? For women to not to usurp authority over their husbands? Well, let's go back in the law. Let's precept this. Genesis 3:16. "Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee." So the example that Torah Revival gives in the book of Judges chapter 4 is the same argument that many Christians make up when, they're told to remain silent in the churches or assemblies. Now let's go to Judges chapter 4, and we'll break this down and explain this. Notice Judges chapter 4, verse 4. "And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapido, she judged Israel at that time." Notice who her head was. Notice who was in authority over her. Did she judge her husband? Was she telling him what to do? No. Was her husband teaching her? Yes. Was she a teacher? No, it says she was a prophetess. Okay? So she wasn't teaching men. Let's go back. Let's prove this. 1 Corinthians 12:28. "And the mighty one has set some in the church, first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, after that miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversities of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles?" So you can see there's a difference between a prophet or prophetess and a teacher. All right? So this woman wasn't teaching men. You know, so that argument doesn't even stand up. Now let's find out what the apostle Peter or Kepha says on this matter. Let's see if Torah revival agrees with Peter, because you don't agree with Paul, but let's see if you agree with Peter. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. Now let's go on down to verse 4. But let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of the mighty one of great price. For after this manner in the old time the holy women also, who trusted in the mighty one, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. So Kepha's saying the same thing. Now back in Judges, it shows that Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapido, she judged Israel at that time. Well, she was in subjection to her husband. She was quiet. Notice in verse 5 it reads, and she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel and Mount Ephraim. Was she in the church? Was she in the temple? No. Because she wouldn't have been up in the temple teaching or asking questions for that matter. And it says, and the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. Well, let's find out why. In verse 1, it says, and the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of Yahweh when Ehud was dead. And Yahweh sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in Haroshet of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried unto Yahweh, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. So Israel didn't even have its own government at that time. Now I'm going to explain this further, because in Judges chapter 5, in the song of Deborah and Barak, they go through this history, but you have to know how to go through the definitions and break down that chapter. Many people struggle with that, but we're going to break this down. First, I want to let you notice where it says she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah. What is that word dwelt there? Does that mean she was just living there? Let's look this up. Dwelt. Word. Let's see, in the Thayer's lexicon. Better yet, let's look it up in Strong's. Word 3427. A primitive root, properly to sit down. But notice this, specifically as judge, in ambush, in quiet. Alright, this was something going on in quiet. Let's dig into this word ambush. Now in Webster's, it says a private or concealed station where troops lie in wait to attack their enemy by surprise. The state of lying concealed for the purpose of attacking by surprise, a lying in wait. Now let's see what took place in the rest of the chapter. Verse 6. And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said unto him, Hath not Yahweh, mighty one of Israel, commanded, saying, Go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali and of the children of Zebulun, and I will draw unto thee the river Kishon Sisera, and captain of Jabin's army, this is king of Canaan, with his chariots, and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thy hand. So you can see this was a covert operation taking place, and she put together a war plan. She was sitting in ambush, in quiet, on the down low. All right? And in the next video, I'm going to explain and break down Judges chapter 5 and show you exactly why she had to hold this office at that time. Shalom.